Good morning. Another fine, chilly morning in the mountains of Vermont. We are on another adventure today. Back on one that we've done before. We've been out here, I think it was almost 2 years ago now that we came out here and went looking for one house. But today we want to show you the rest of the road. We never really got to see the rest of the sites. There's about 8 or 9 houses on this road, or cellar holes on this road. It's a whole mountain community up here, and a tragic tale to go along with it, so stay tuned. All right, this is where we go off trail. I cannot imagine coming up this thing with a horse and carriage anytime you wanted to go anywhere. And this hill is super steep. This is definitely the hardest site to get to because it is straight up this really long hill. But once you get up here, you are on the land of T.B. Colby on the 1873 map, and the house sat right here. Big field out back, little trail that runs off here, another trail that goes off this way, and the barn foundation, what's left of it, is right here, and everything is the same as it was 2 years ago when we were here. All the relics on the side of the cellar hole. We put a lot of these here. The California Fig Syrup Company. Looks like an old beer bottle. And down here, the wagon wheel that Jen found. We pulled all these little metal pieces out last time we were here. All right, we're gonna take our first break here. We are probably about the halfway point, and there's a lot of sights to see after this, but we're gonna poke around and see what else we can see around here. Things we didn't see last time. Stay tuned. All right, so we are back at the geocache here at the, see, they call this the Jerry Ayers log cabin because I think that's who owned this originally. I think this site was owned prior, but the history map that you can go off of shows a lot of these properties with different names because they were the later owners. The owners we're going off are based in the 1873 map. And you go through the signatures here, there's a whole bunch of them. This thing goes back, I think we saw it went back to like 2000, well there's 2016, but I think it was like 2011. But if you look, here is Jen and I from the last time we were here, which was, yeah, like 2 years ago. And only one other person has been here since we were here. Brad was here last year during the holiday season, and here's us again, and we let everybody know how to find the channel, so here we go. All right, we'll hide that back. Looks full. Oh, it's not. Look at that. Oh, got a pretty little bottom there.
Mm.
That almost looks like the bottom of a case gin, though. Wonder if the rest of it's in there. That was cool. Ooh, wow, look at this. That's the top of a lamp. See, manganese.
Mm-hmm.
Nice beer bottle, wine bottle. It's got this other side to it. It's really cool. I don't know if this would have been like a canning room or something. Cold storage, maybe. You can see it's attached to the barn, though. That is the plumbing, which would have ran to a well somewhere. Who knows where. But, oh yeah, it has full-on running water going on right here. Down in the deep basement. And I found a lot more to add. That is nice. I think that's like a case gin. I don't know for sure, but I don't know many bottles that were square like that back in the day. You make that out. Blank and R boot, England. It says Putnam. That one says Putnam. Some Flow Blue. There is a looks like castor oil or something like that in there. Look at all the manganese glass. I mean, it is glowing, just glowing out here. It's been in the sun, and I got a bunch of big pieces I added to the that one might not be, but this one definitely is. Got a nice purple hue to it. This glass right here has got a really nice little, that's got really nice purple hue to it. Manganese. This one's got some embossing on it. It says something Co. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I found this big hinge too. I mean, you can only imagine what is laying here. I only wish we could dig it up and find out, but unfortunately we can't. So what we can do is give the next person that comes up here a treat of seeing all of this history. Just like the first time we came up here, there's a ton of it up here, but the last 2 years snow falls and it falls back down here on the ground, and so there it all is. All right, we got to get out of here. We got a lot more hiking to do. And there it is. Not much to see. Very filled in. Still stones. But I don't see anything else around here. And the property belonged to a man by the name of Matthew McCaffrey, who moved up here after he married his wife in 1866 and started a farm here. The McCaffrey barn is supposed to be across the street, which I'm picturing over there, but again, I'm not entirely sure. We'll poke around and see if we can find any remains of the barn. But Matthew lived here for quite some time. Shows up on the 1873 map. And in 1880, we know, oh, this might be the barn right here, actually. there is a curious little wall right here. But they did say it was across the street, so anyways. We know that Matthew was committed to the state asylum in Brattleboro in 1880. He was showing signs of insanity. He was threatening his wife. Numerous accounts of just him being strange in general. So they locked Matthew up for a while. And while Matthew was committed, the house burned down in 1880. Not long after he went to Brattleboro, the house burned down. House and shed burned down, and was rebuilt later that summer. So brand new house. I think he was there for almost 2 years, and they released him with a good bill of health, cured of insanity. Seems strange, but he came back here to live with the rest of his family. But in 1882, Matthew was acting strange again. This time he took it to a whole new level. It was March, just like now, March. Long winter. That always drives you nuts. Cabin fever certainly can drive you pretty mad out here, especially in this isolation. But no excuse for what happened. Matthew attacked and killed the wife of his 7 children here, and also killed his mother the same night, the same way. Brutally beat them both with a leg of a chair, and then repeatedly stabbed them in the neck with a knife. Matthew said that he saw something come into the house. When he awoke, the house was all opened up, and something came in, something with fur, but changed to something smooth like skin, so like a shapeshifter creature, and changed into his wife. And he felt threatened that his children were going to be killed by this creature, so he killed the creature. And then he said it escaped into his mother, and he killed her too. And then dragged the bodies down into the basement. And there they sat for a couple of days while he figured out what exactly he was going to do. There's a lot more to this story. I am no good storyteller. But if you go and listen to the podcast, These Dark Mountains, and look up the McCaffrey Murders, he'll tell this story way better than me. And that's how I heard about this whole thing. And I was just completely like engulfed in the story, and I had to come up here and see this whole thing. And we did about 2 years ago. And here we are again, right back up here. It's that crazy of a thought to think of. Probably the remains of the shed right here. Maybe it's part of the house still. We know this is the old cellar stairs that went down here. Here we go, look at this. What does that say? There's another piece of that, probably stove stuff, I would imagine. And the last time we were here, we did make a video. It was like one of the first videos on our channel. and it wasn't that great. That's why I wanted to go back and sort of reshoot it, but we didn't really touch on any of the other places up here. So I've been wanting to come back ever since and shoot it again. But one of the viewers had mentioned in the comments that his great-great-grandfather purchased this house in after the murders. We know his name was Walter Ladd. Read it in the newspaper, and we know that the house caught fire in 1887 and burned to the ground. Although it does say that Walter got the contents of the house out. But yeah, that would be the last of the McCaffrey house. After that, never rebuilt. There was no insurance on it when Walter had it, so it burned to the ground, and here it sits. Crazy to think that Walter bought the house. I mean, after all the stigma, I can just imagine nobody would have wanted anything to do with this place. But when they came up here after the murders, though, they said when you came into the house, the sitting area was the room that you first came into, and standing there and standing in the yard outside of the house, you would know nothing of what was going on in the bedroom and the basement, because when you walked into that bedroom, it was an absolute horror scene. Blood covering the walls, covering the floor, covering everything. And then, you know, there was a drop of blood on the cellar door. That was also mentioned in the newspaper. But other than that, that's all you would know of, you know, that scene. I'm imagining maybe the sitting room, because the cellar door would have been here. So you would have come in the sitting room probably here, and the bedroom probably on the back side. But that one house we went to just before this one up in the woods would be his closest neighbor, and I don't even know if the house was occupied at that time. And then we'll go down to the next neighbor after this. That house is right over there, and you've got all these little, these are kid-size beds, and I don't know if these are leaf springs or if they're rims or what they are, but that is really cool and creepy. All right, so here is the old stone bridge. Originally our main road here, this stone bridge came over across here, and there's another house up here in the woods, and I'll show you that. We'll get across this thing. All right, you can see the stone bridge comes in through here, and that's the road that goes up there, or the driveway. There we go. Starting to look like a road. Not really though. Nice proper break in the stone wall here. And here we go. Impossible to see. There it is. So the GoPro stopped recording audio. Here's a geocache that we just found laying on the ground, but we signed this one 2 years ago, so we knew exactly where it was supposed to go. So we re-signed it and put it back. It's just laying out there on the ground. In this spot, we found there's a natural spring right next to the cellar hole, so that was definitely their water source. There's the cellar hole there. You can see the size of the trees growing out of these things. They're huge. Tiny little house. Barely a one-room cabin. Giving you some more angles of that tree. The cellar hole itself is in really nice condition. And here is the last and final cellar hole of the day. And this one had to be the best of the entire day because there is just the most amount of cool stuff at this one. And the first cool thing that you see here is just this amazing piece of cast iron stove with all of these little floral details. I mean, look at this thing. Awesome. But that definitely got me wired up to see what else was around here. I was sure that if they'd left this much of the stove, there must be more of this somewhere. So I went right to work digging on this place and started pulling things out of the leaves and out of the snow and out of the ice. Just an awesome spot. Alright, here is the well for the old house. Still some water down there in the bottom. And now you can see I've pulled out all of these cast iron parts and pieces. All different parts of the stove. It's just, I would have loved to have found them all and just put it together right there. Definitely the coolest stove I've ever found. Here is the entry into the basement from outside through the bulkhead. Big house, nice big house. This is this particular house is the Ladd farm on the map. If you remember the story about the McCaffrey house that we were at earlier, the Ladds had bought the house, and this is same family, Ladds. Finding some bricks from the chimney stack there. And now we're just taking a look at basically everything I found, everything that I dug up out of the leaves, all the little metal parts and pieces, and who knows what's it. Lots of cool little old things. There's some manganese glass. There's an old lantern. This is a fuel can, I think. And again, there's all the stove parts. See, there's the little rosette. Same detail as on the big door. There's another rosette right there. And these, I don't know what they are. Look like leaf springs off of an old truck maybe, or a tractor. I have no idea. I'm not sure, but definitely looks a 1920s automobile for sure. Automotive anyway. But yeah, definitely the best spot of the day. Yeah, it's a cool spot. I think if I spent a few hours there, I could uncover all kinds of things on this site. There's just, I mean, if you had a metal detector and you were allowed to detect this, I mean, who knows what's out here. Just such a cool spot. All the history. And it's definitely the furthest one away. There is, on the map, there's one other house that's further down beyond this one, but we did not get to that location. I think this was a 7.5 mile hike when we were all said and done, 7.5. So it was definitely a long one. I found this little piece out in the driveway, the old road heading out of the property, and I'm not sure what it was, but we were finding a lot of bricks and things out on the driveway. It's definitely interesting. As we were leaving the site and actually ending the hike for the day, we were packing it up and we're heading out. So thanks for coming along on this video. I apologize for the audio issues, but hopefully we've got that figured out. So we'll catch you on the next one. All right, thanks guys, take care.